What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that everybody's having a great day. So this is my third time trying to record this video. I keep on getting my thoughts mixed up. I originally thought that I was just going to make a review on the entire season of The Ones Who Live, but realistically, I don't think that it's that necessary. To be honest with you, I think that episodes 1 through 5 were pretty good, but the pacing was a little too fast, and there was a few things here and there that I really didn't like. Either way, if you do want a review of the whole season, let me know, and I will be sure to make that. But realistically, what I want to talk about today is the final episode, because I enjoyed it, but I do have a few problems that I do want to talk about today. So if you like the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not sure how many more Walking Dead videos I'm going to do, just because I need to try and diversify my channel a little bit, but let's get into it. So the episode started off with Rick and Michonne getting back to the CRM, obviously, and we knew that that was going to happen since the end of episode 5, so that's not a surprise. They started their mission immediately, which made sense because, you know, Michonne was dead, so they had to go off Rick. Rick gets back in, he does the debriefing, he goes to see Beale immediately. Not that the Echelon briefing was bad, I just feel like it was a little bit underwhelming. I thought that there would be a little bit more pizzazz to it, if you want to say, because realistically, like, a lot of the things that Beale said during the Echelon briefing were somewhat foreseeable. They were things that we pretty much already knew about. Example is like the test subjects. As a viewer, we already knew that Omaha was gone. We knew that they were going for Portland. We knew that there were some type of spies in communities based on the world beyond, and Jadis, she's a prime example. And then we also knew that people were being traded. I think that a lot of us theorized that they had come up with a cure or this or that, but that just wasn't the case. The biggest pieces of information that we got from the Echelon briefing was that they were going to destroy Portland, take the kids, and then put martial law in effect and go across the country and destroy every community that they come in contact with, which obviously they've already been destroying communities. If they see anybody living, they go and kill them immediately. So it wasn't that much of a surprise. With that being said, I know that we're watching it through Rick's perspective and seeing what he's gonna do about it, but either way, it's still like the Echelon briefing was supposed to be a lot more. This might upset some of you, but how I view the Echelon briefing was basically Beale showing how much of a disconnected psychopath that he was. There's nothing else in my brain. The reason I say that is because he had to have complete control over everything, and if not, then life couldn't sustain. He was the God Almighty. He was the person who had to make sure that everybody made it through. But that basically stems from him giving up his hometown in Pittsburgh to die. So because his hometown died, everybody and everything else in this entire world had to die. That's how I view it 2 days after watching it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't like how they went about it, but that's how I view it. The thing that stuck out to me the most was that there was only 14 years of life left on Earth, which I don't understand exactly how they got those numbers. Obviously, they probably went through some testing, or maybe the show writers just made up some bullshit, whatever. Either way, I think that that made the most sense out of that entire briefing. But then you also have to think about how Thorne got that same exact briefing and immediately switched teams. What made you switch teams? Because nothing in that briefing really stood out like, yes, we need to do this. Maybe Beale is very, very, very persuasive in person, but through a screen, it's not that persuasive in my opinion. If I would have gotten that briefing, I wouldn't have understood how any of that correlates. How does destroying and taking every community's resource make life sustainable for us? It's just something I don't comprehend that much. If you understand, leave it in the comment section. Let me know how wrong I am, but I thought that the briefing was underwhelming and kind of just a psychotic rant. But this is after me watching the episode, then watching me edit the video for it, and then watching my own video. I've watched it 3 times basically, so please just let me cook. I thought that the Michonne portion was completely fine. She went into the auditorium, heard what the plan was, and immediately tried to contact Rick like, we gotta do something. I understand that because their plan was pretty shot. It was pretty fucked. They were only going to take 10% of the kids and then just gas the entire city. I understand her whole part. I don't have a gripe with that at all. They had a lot of flashbacks during the episode, and they put them in specific places for a reason. Like when Michonne picked up the stuffed animal, and then it showed the flashbacks of all of her kids. That's understandable. When Rick threw the knife at Beale, it showed him being very, very deadly. I understand. why they put all the flashbacks in. It was kind of annoying because it was like, damn, just show me what's going on. But at the same time, it was sentimental. Rick killing Beale in this episode didn't sit right with me because he was built up as such a super villain. He was so built up to be a super villain for multiple shows, multiple seasons. And then for him to die like that without even really putting up that much of a fight, it just doesn't sit right with me. He should have been this villain that lasted a couple years. Obviously, that wasn't in the cards, which is extremely sad because I feel like Beale was a very interesting character. Like, he could have been something so much better than what we ended up getting. He was barely in the show. If you really think about it, Jadis was more of a villain this entire show than Beale ever was. Rick and Michonne meet up and they rig a super explosion with the chlorine gas, and I just feel like, you know, it was cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was super cool. I was hyped up when I first saw the explosion. Yo, but it's the CRM. It's the CRM, and we just kind of threw it away. We just destroyed the entire CRM in one day. It doesn't sit right with me. The CRM was built up for many years for this to be how it ends. They did an entire spin-off based off the CRM, and this is how it ended. They're supposed to be the worst enemy, worst military on earth, and they were just destroyed. I get it. It fits the theme of Rick and Michonne could do anything that they need to do. But still, at the end of the day, it just feels so rushed. So rushed. Let's not talk about the fact that Rick did not get bit when he got thrown into that group of walkers. How has he not gotten bit yet? That had me confused while I was watching it. There was multiple walkers on him. He was not getting them off. And then he pulls the pin on a grenade, not a single scratch. Not to mention that he didn't have a mask on when the chlorine gas was all over him. When Nat got hit with it, his eyes were burning, his face was burning, his throat was burning, everything was screwed up for a year straight. So the plot armor was definitely thick there. Thorne's death, I don't even care about. I hated the character in general. When they finished their mission, we got this oversight view of them, which was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, seeing the base destroyed was awesome. And then we have the narrator of the CRM basically saying how the CRM is now gonna be open to the public and people could freely leave and all that good shit, which I'm not mad about. That was the whole mission and they completed their mission, so that's cool. I do think that that leaves some doors open for the future, but not too many. Trust me, I cried so much during that ending and I wouldn't take it back. That was a lovely ending. But RJ's acting, man, he's not meant to be an actor. I wonder why they picked him specifically as a child actor. It seems like he doesn't even want to be there. He kind of talks robotic.
You're the brave man?
I am.
I knew you'd come back.
How?
I believed.
He is a kid though. Okay, so let me stop cooking him. Let me stop. The show ends with the CRM airlifting supplies to all the communities that need it. And I think that that's a great ending. But we have a problem for the future of the Walking Dead universe now. Rick came back, which means that Rick came back while Daryl is in France, but where's Negan? Where's Maggie? Because obviously Dead City takes place years into the future. So now Dead City has no mention of Rick Grimes in season 1, which kind of makes the show feel out of place. The timeline is kind of destroyed at this moment. How long did it take for Rick to come home? Did it take 1 year after the Commonwealth arc ended? That is probably what makes the most sense. But with that being said, now we know if there is ever a crossover event, Negan and Rick have already had a conversation. And if they haven't, that's because Negan never came back and there will be a conversation. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, Rick would want to see where Negan is after 6 or 7 years. Maybe I'm getting sidetracked. Maybe my argument isn't valid, but that's just my thought process, is that it feels like Dead City is completely just a throwaway show at this point, because if the CRM is now good, they could easily step in and stop whatever threat is in New York City. Just my thought process. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about we might get a season 12 of The Walking Dead. I don't think that's gonna happen. The whole reason that they killed the CRM in this show was so that Denai and Andrew Lincoln did not have to come back if they didn't want to come back. Obviously, they might do a reunion in the Daryl Dixon show, but generally speaking, I do not think that we are getting a big team up Avengers Endgame spin-off show. I don't think that that's happening. Just based off the CRM dying, I don't think so. Maybe Janae, maybe they come from France with some variant walkers and that happens. But even for the spies that are in any of the other communities, it's not going to happen. I just can't see that turning into a huge storyline at all. But yeah, that's my little rant of my issues with The Ones Who Live finale. If you're still watching this video, thank you. I appreciate you. Leave a like, comment, sub. Let me know if you guys want more Walking Dead videos or theory videos or etc. And I will see you guys on my next videos. Take care.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me. I don't think you see me when you fucking up all in your dream. I don't think you got trust for me. Just ain't what